Welcome to Chalk Mineral Paint Enthusiast Group. I am Yadi with Lily Moon Vintage, and I'm just gonna show you a couple things on how to layer paint and how to create kind of like that chippy look. But I'm going on my laptop real quick just so I can pull up the video and be able to reply to your comments. So bear with me one moment. And if you're watching, say hi. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm not seeing it. Let me refresh this page. Is there anybody commenting? I have my husband, guys. My husband Johnny's behind the scenes taking care of my camera work. While I set this up, I don't see it. All right. Bear with me one moment, guys. This is my first time live, so give me a moment. Let me see if I can find where I'm at. Hopefully you guys can see me. And if you can't see me, comment, say hi, and where you're from. I'm not really sure if it's working. Has anybody commented anything? Just want to make sure everybody can see me.
No, I don't see any comments.
All right, let me check the settings on my phone real quick. Well, yeah, it says I have 2 people on. I wonder why I can't find it.
Heather says that she can see you.
Hi, Heather. Let's see. Goodness gracious. Oh, here we go. Found it. All right, let me get this set up. Okay. I found it now. Good. Hopefully I can see your comments. Hey, Jennifer. Okay, I see the comments. Here. You want to just stay there? Oh, there? Okay. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I got on a little late. I was having some technical problems, but we're here. Awesome. So what I have for you guys today is just, I'm going to show you how to distress this piece using a sponge, which not a lot of people do. People kind of distress their own way with sandpaper or whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and paint this in a couple different colors, and I will show you how to do that, and then we're going to distress. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time because I'm going to have to, just for the sake of the live and for time, I'm going to have to blow dry in between just to like dry the paint in between. So bear with me. Hopefully it's not too noisy for you guys. And I have pretty much the same exact sample board here, but we're going to go ahead, and this is like an oak wood, but we're going to just go ahead and get started. The colors that I'm going to use, I don't know how to say this word, but it's Kudzu from Dixie Belle. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's kind of like it's just a lighter version of Evergreen. So we're going to use this Kudzu color Evergreen, and then we're going to use drop cloth, which is like one of my favorite Dixie Belle colors. And what I like to do is to wet my brush. I'm going to use this little one. And I've already cleaned this piece using their Dixie Belle's White Lightning. And what I do is like I just put it in this like spray bottle after I mix it up in the gallon or whatnot. put it in a spray bottle, and then like that I have easy access to it. And so I wet my brush just a bit. And for today, I'm just gonna go ahead and just dip it right into the can. I'm gonna try to do this as fast as possible for you guys. And let me know if you have any questions. But the first color that I'm using is that lighter green color called Kudzu. Okay. And you really don't need to be very precise since we are going to be removing a lot of this color when it comes to the distressing. You really just have to get it in there. All right. I don't know what is up with me lately. I don't know if it's because it's like St. Patrick's Day weekend or week or something. I feel like my last 3 or 4 pieces have been green. And for some odd reason, I chose another green, sample for you guys today. And I was decorating a piece earlier and staging it for St. Patrick's Day, and I realized, oh, another green piece. So, I don't know. I think I get my moments where like I do all blues and then like all greens and kind of like switch it up. I don't know. Let me know if there's any comments. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I hope I mentioned this when we first started, but my business page is Lilly Moon Vintage. And I'll go ahead and tag it at the end of the video so you guys can go and like my page. And I'm going to start trying to do live videos on my page as well. So hopefully you guys can catch me on that too. All right, so bear with me. I'm going to blow dry this real quick just so we can go ahead and do the second layer. So I'm going to do another layer of that same color, just because it's a little transparent, and I want to like deepen it up a little bit, especially on the front side, not so much like on the inside of it. And I think like what people are scared about the most when it comes to layering is like just like messing it up, I guess, somehow. But honestly, it's just about just playing with the paint, allowing it to dry between your coats, and then throwing on your next color, allowing that to dry, and then kind of like that, just kind of create that flow of painting, drying. All right, hold on. Hey, Natalia. So I noticed I didn't get so much of the paint over here, which is okay because we're going to be removing some paint and we're going to let the natural wood kind of peek through. So if that happens to you on your piece, don't even worry about it, because if you see on this one, I pretty much just stressed it until the natural wood, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and take Evergreen. Hey Brandy, hey Julie. Brandy was nice enough to help me earlier. I'm going live, so I had no idea what I was doing. All right, so we're gonna take Evergreen, and I'm just gonna take a bigger brush this time. And again, there's really no precise way to do it. Just paint, you know, and cover as much as you want, really. If you want to just do sections of different colors, you can do that also. So if you wanted to do like these, you know, these two sections here in dark green, and then these two in like a blue or something, you can do that as well. I'm gonna have my husband zoom you guys in a little bit, because I feel like I'm a little too far away and I want you guys to see what I'm doing and get a better view. Let's move that out of the way. And try to like angle it a little bit so they can see. And I'm gonna go ahead and wet my brush a little bit. Better? Try to zoom in a little bit more so they can actually see the piece. Let's see. Angle it more, yeah.
No more goldfish.
Oh. I'm actually gonna grab my little rolling stool. Brandy's not the only one with a rolling stool, guys. I went to, what's that store that I like? Harbor Freight. And saw these, like, I think they're for like mechanics or something. And I'm like, oh my God, it rolls. I need that. But I didn't know that you can like take it apart and use it on the floor like Brandy does. So I'm considering buying another one just so I can have a short version. All right, so I'm just gonna wet my brush a little bit, and that's also a good tip. If you feel like your paint is kind of pulling a little bit, or your brush is pulling a little bit, and it's a little bit dry, you could always just wet your brush. Oh, I'm missing comments, hold on. You're eating goldfish crackers. Are you stealing your kids' snacks? Déjame los comentarios. She's not responsible for entries. I know, I think I have way too much fun on this little stool. I'm literally like, it's like lazy mode, like totally. Like when I'm sitting down painting, like I won't even get up to get a brush. I'll just roll over to grab it. All right, so I think that's pretty good. Did I get this side? Okay. All right, so do you guys have any questions? I guess maybe once I start distressing and stuff, maybe you guys will have more questions. Let me put my dirty brushes over here. Hey Brenda, yeah, I don't see why not. Like you can just take down all your kitchen cabinets and make sure that you prep them properly. I would definitely use White Lightning, which is Dixie Belle's cleaner, to take off all the gunk off your kitchen cabinets and, you know, all the oil and grease that kind of falls on them. I would definitely clean them really, really good. Make sure that you do a little bit of research on how to prep them and then paint them. But the same exact technique you can use on your kitchen cabinets. All right, so I don't want to be too noisy and not be able to talk to you guys. So I'm just gonna, you know, just let this dry a little bit, but I'll explain to you what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna throw some drop cloth on top of this. And once that is, you know, semi-dry, you don't really want your last coat to be super dry. Like for example, one time I let it dry overnight and then I was really scrubbing the next day and my fingers were hurting. So once you do your last layer and you allow that to dry for like maybe 20-30 minutes, then you want to go back and start wet distressing. Okay.
Brandy's question is, are you using the hairdryer to crackle or just to dry faster?
I'm just trying to dry faster for the video. Maybe we should back up a little bit because I can, just so that we can see my face. Like angle it a little bit. Yeah, I'm just using it to dry faster for the sake of the video, because since we are doing different layers, we'll probably be here for 2 hours trying to allow it, you know, to dry. And I've actually heard about people doing the crackle with the blow dryer. I've never done that before, but I'm kind of curious to do that. So, all right. So what I use to distress my pieces is these sponges that I buy at our local Dollar Tree. And I think, let me see, the pack says, okay, so the pack says it brings six for $1. Can't go wrong with that. And what I do is I take the scrubby side and I just run this under the sink and let it, I let, you know, obviously the whole thing get wet and rinse it out. And then I'm using the scrubby side to hit like all the edges and wherever I want to remove paint. So I prefer that method just because I work indoors. This is the room that, you know, like my studio that I work in, and I don't like to create all that paint dust and, you know, all that mess all over the place. So I feel like wet distressing has worked very well for me. And then another thing that I would do is take like a little spatula. How do I even remember? I think I probably got this at the Dollar Tree also. And I'll scrape the corners or wherever I want to, you know, distress and remove some paint. I'll take a spatula like this and just kind of like run it through. And I can show you guys how to do that also. I think this is, it's pretty dry. We can probably go ahead and do the drop cloth coat. If you can you wet that for me? Just run it under the sink and then sweep it. Oh goodness. Okay, so we're gonna take drop cloth. And again, we're just going to start painting. So you see, it's very easy. You just start layering paint. As long as it's dry between the coats, you can just layer as many colors as you want. And what I just did, by the way, is just I have a little foam brush that I put water in, and then sometimes that helps my brush glide a little easier. So I just kind of dip my brush in the water. And this, you're just gonna put your last layer just everywhere you want it. I want my piece to be more white than anything. Like as you can see in the example, in the sample board, more of that white color showing through with the green, not so much of the wood. And you don't have to have that much green show through if you don't want. All right. I'm gonna wet my brush a little bit more. And then the one thing I didn't do on that sample board is I didn't use any wax, but I probably would. If it was like a china or, you know, something kind of like farmhouse style, I would probably grab some of the Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax, maybe in brown or black, and kind of just hit like all the corners and just kind of make it look extra grungy and I just say dirty. Makes it grungy and just kind of like dingy looking, like it's been sitting around forever. And it has a little bit of dirt on it, I guess. Just to make it look old. All right, I think we're okay with the white now. Okay. All right, so that is that when it comes to the last layer. And again, we're gonna let that dry as much as we can. And then we're gonna get to the fun part. But yeah, so you could always use like Dixie Belle's brown, or I would probably use a brown one. And then just take like a small brush and just kind of put in all the little corners and crevices of the piece, and then just make it like look extra dingy. So I think that would actually look really nice. All right, so I'm going to blow dry it one more time, so bear with me.
Mary Central wants to know, what colors are you using?
Oh, Mary, so I'm using, the first layer that I did was Dixie Belle's Kudzu. I hope I said that right. And then the second layer green that I used was Evergreen, also by Dixie Belle. And then the last layer was Drop Cloth. Okay. And they're very thin coats, nothing too crazy. Or actually, if you want, let's go ahead and really zoom in to the piece so that they can see. And then angle it a little bit. You might have to actually grab it. Okay, sorry about the noise, guys. It's the only way I figured I can do the video for you guys and do the tutorial and us have enough time. I didn't want to keep you here for 2 hours. Okay, so my husband's gonna go ahead and lean the camera so you guys can get like a closer view of what I'm gonna do. And like I said, I'm going to can you like take it off the tripod and actually hold it just like closer? So I think it's still too far away. All right, bear with us, guys. First time live, my husband's first time helping me out here with the camera. All right, so I think that's a little bit better. You can take the table off if you want. Okay, so again, this is the sponge that I'm using. It is a Dollar Tree sponge. And we ran it under the sink. And what we're going to do is, again, we're going to use the scrubby side. Obviously, if you don't have a sponge like this, you can just buy the scrubbies. But I'll show you why I like the sponge, okay? So you're just going to put both fingers here. And this is like where I put mostly my pressure. So I'm not really using any of this here. Oh, and you're going to want to have like a clean rag with you. So that's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna start rubbing it back and forth. And the reason you want the clean rag is because you wanna clean off the excess of the paint. So sometimes chalk paint will leave like a little bit of a residue, kind of like a white cast, depending on what color you're using. And if you like, I'll show you here, if you start going like this, you might not know, like right now it doesn't really look like you distressed a lot, but once you wipe it away, you can see all that color has come through. So you constantly want to remove the paint with a scrubby and then wipe it off just so you can get a feel of how your piece is looking. So, closer. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that throughout all the edges, and it's up to you how much pressure you actually want to put on your piece. So this one I put more pressure, so that's why you see the wood coming through. And then some areas like here, I just want the green coming through, not so much of the wood, so I'm just gonna go just a little bit lighter. And then sometimes my sponge will start kind of like just not be as wet, and that's why I'll just have my little spray bottle and just spray the sponge itself. So, okay, so you see there's a white cast. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a white cast over that green from the drop cloth. So what I do is I'll take the sponge and kind of clean that. So we remove that white cast over the green. And there's really no precise way I'm doing this because you are going for that rustic look. So it's your perfectly imperfect piece. So don't be scared. Just start scrubbing away. If it's your first time, then I would just kind of put light pressure until you get a feel of it, of how, you know, how it's looking, and if you liked the way it came out, and just keep going with it. So I'm just gonna wet the sponge a little bit. And that's really all there is to it, guys. It's really easy. It's one of my favorite looks, even though I feel like I don't do it enough. But it really is one of my favorite looks. Like, I've never actually used milk paint, and the one time I tried it, I failed at it completely because I did it wrong. So this is like my way of getting that chippy look without actually using milk paint. So where are you guys watching me from? I'd love to know where you guys are watching me from. We're in Florida, by the way. I didn't mention that earlier. But I live in Orlando, Florida, and pretty much lived here my whole life. My parents moved from Puerto Rico when I was 1. We moved to Massachusetts. And when I was 6, they moved to Florida. So I just consider myself Floridian. Hey, Becky, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hey, Patty. Stacy. Oh, you're from New York. Awesome. And George. Oh, we got a guy watching. Hi, George.
Rosemark, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Oh my gosh. So me and my family took a vacation to went on vacation to Tennessee maybe 7 years ago, but it was honestly the best vacation I have ever had in my life. It was just one of those vacations where you absolutely did nothing, and we just stayed at the lake, and we all brought like our jet skis. So there was maybe like a total of 8 jet skis within like all the families that joined us. And
Becky's from Mississippi.
Mississippi, nice.
But she's in North Carolina at the moment.
So yeah, that's probably one of my best vacations. North Carolina is another place I'd love to visit. Went through it a couple years ago, or was it last year? We were on our way to DC. So
We have a Floridian, Mulberry, Florida.
Who? Oh, hi, Nodi. All right, so I'm gonna wet my sponge a little bit more. I usually go a lot faster, guys. I'm just kind of distracted by talking to you guys. But all right, let me flip this over. Get to this side. And so what I would do to seal this one, because it's a chippy look that I'm going for, and rustic or whatnot, I would definitely go with Dixie Belle's flat, sealer. But that's all about preference, to be honest. If you want the look, but you also want to go more shiny, then you can use the satin one or the clear wax, or honestly, it's just whatever you prefer. Hi, Brenda. Who's coming to Florida? Oh, Becky. Are you coming to the parks, Becky? All right, I think we're pretty much done. I'm gonna do the edges. But as you guys can see, as I'm working, there's just really not much to it. Just scrub and wipe, scrub and wipe. Water. Okay, I think that's it. So here we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. And I'll definitely take a picture and post a close-up. But that's it, guys. So again, we cleaned the piece. We went ahead and used Dixie Belle's Kudzu. Then we used Dixie Belle's Evergreen. And then once everything was all dried up, then we used drop cloth. Okay, like I said, I would probably clear coat it with Dixie Belle's clear coat and flat. And if you've been looking for a flat that's literally flat, like completely matte, this is the one to use. Because I used to use polyacrylic, I don't know if that's a brand, but the polyacrylic, like the one that you get at Home Depot, in their matte, and that one still has a pretty decent sheen, which I don't mind. But sometimes you have like pieces like this where you want it to look as authentic as possible, so you want to go for more of a flat look. So definitely recommend the one from Dixie Belle.
Brian Patterson, that looks really cool.
Oh, thank you, Brian. We got another guy. I love when guys watch. Would you use that all over it after you finish? Are you talking about the flat? If you are, then yes, I would definitely use this all over to complete and seal the look. Some people, when they're going for a chippy look, they don't even seal it. But again, that's preference. I like to seal all my pieces. That's just me. You know, I'm just like always afraid that there's gonna be a kid running around and spill water on it or just something. So I always like to seal my pieces. So I would definitely use flat for it. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below if you guys have any questions. Again, my name is Yadi from Lily Moon Vintage, and I'll go ahead and tag my business page so you guys can follow me there. And hopefully I'll be seeing you guys a lot more, because I'm going to be doing a lot more live videos for you guys on different techniques. I think the next one I'm going to do is my rusty farm truck look, and that's when I use the Dixie Belle's Sea Spray. which I love this stuff. It's awesome. So I have like this, I call it my crunchy dresser. But it's sea spray that I mix with paint and to create that rusty look. And I'll go ahead and post pictures of that when I'm ready to do the live for that, so you guys can like keep an eye out for that, and you guys can learn how to do it.
Okay, Brenda has a question. So where do you get the product?
So I can go ahead and link I get it off their website, and I'll go ahead and link where you guys can just click on it and purchase the products. I also have a retail spot here in Orlando where I have some of my furniture, and so I have a local retailer. She's awesome. Her name is Luann, and she's from Rustic Journeys. That's the name of the store. And sometimes I just, if I'm in a hurry and I'm just kind of like, I need it right now, I'll just run out to her and grab some paint from her. So if you're in Orlando, go ahead and check out Rustic Journeys at the Oviedo Mall. She's there. You guys can find some paint there. But I'll go ahead and when we finish the video, I'll link where you guys can just click just to purchase the products yourself off their site. Okay? Any more questions? All right, I think that's it. All right, guys, I enjoyed it so much. I can't wait to see you guys again. Bye.